Matsalane Mamabolo, South Africa's most successful soccer writer.
You Pirates fans were looking for Rulani to come. You guys are unrealistic. Rulani Mukwena, Pirates.
3 times winner of Premiership Soccer Writer of the Year. Every day he takes you inside SA Soccer, exclusive to omniaudio.africa. Weekdays, 9:30 a.m.
Africa's premier sports destination.
Revenge, they say, is a dish best served cold, and did Orlando Pirates do just that? They got even with Magesi FC, the team that embarrassed them last season. The newcomers to the Premiership, smashing Orlando Pirates, knocking them out of the Carling knockout at the first stage back last year. That was at Orlando Stadium. The team from Limpopo then went on to win the trophy, beating Mamelodi Sundowns in the final. Now, they met again, and there was this whole excitement going into this match. Magazi, can they repeat the dose? They face an Orlando Pirates fresh from being knocked out of the Continental Championship, the CAF Champions League. You'll remember Pirates lost on penalty shootouts to FC Lupopo, but then the Buccaneers got even, as I said. They dished out revenge, winning 2-1 last night at Orlando Stadium. Tsepang Moremi scoring the first goal, beautiful goal actually. Chipezeze, who had a splendid match, had no chance of keeping that one out. And then they call him Wanasesi, evidence. Mahopa made it 2-0. And it looked like Orlando Pirates were cruising. And typically, what do South African players do when you are winning a match? They entertain the crowd. Pirates knocked passes around. You know, you're thinking you're winning 2-0. But is 2-0 a good result? Is it a result to show off? No. Last night it proved otherwise, because then Magezi pulled one back, and you then finish a match tensely because there's an opportunity the opposition can score. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, you listen to Coach Ouaddou after the match. He was not happy. Coach Ouaddou spoke to the media afterwards.
Good evening, everyone.
And he clearly, you know, spoke about just how unhappy he was. You know, let's listen to just that post-match audio.
I think we started the game exactly like we have planned. With the high intensity, we wanted to put pressure to the opponent and to try to score early. I think the boys did a fantastic game in terms of football, in terms of what we wanted to execute today. We managed to have a lot of chances. I think at the halftime we could have lead with 5 goals. So it's a positive point. So I'd like to congratulate my boys for that. It was important to take this victory and to go through the next stage. Things that we have done. Sorry. Now my this big disappointment is the last 15 minutes, and it's the first time I will address that. If we want to be more ambitious, if we want to go forward, we have to stop this nonsense of playing a sterile possession and to enjoy playing small passes. I think if we want to do this, we have to go to the circus. I'm not here to go to the circus or to play circus. I'm here to improve my players, to go forward, and we have to stop this nonsense, because at the end we concede goal, and the target was not to concede goal, to go with the clean sheet and to score more goals. So I think we have to improve on that if we want to be more ambitious.
Look, I think you can tell Coach Ouaddou was pissed off, really, and perhaps duly so, because you're winning a match. You're Orlando Pirates. You've just come back from being knocked out of the CAF Champions League. Yes, you won the match 3-0. You're playing a team that beat you last season. You've got a chance to smash them. He's right. There were so many opportunities in the first half. Pirates could have, rendered the match a no contest, although Magazi also had their chance. They hit the post. Ozonapolis, as usual, played very well. But yeah, you then do what they did, knocking the ball almost aimlessly, but you're entertaining the crowd. The crowd will always accept that, but when you are a coach, you've worked very hard on this. Football is all about scoring goals. The more you score, it's more entertainment. But besides the entertainment, what you're doing is telling the next opponent that, listen, we are not here to play. We are Orlando Pirates, and we will smash you if you don't, if you're not defensively strong. Now, by doing what they did, you give Magazi a sniff at the chance. But here's the thing. South African football for years has been known for entertaining people. And I'm one of those. We grew up watching your Zayn Musa's. I was a huge fan of Zayn Musa. Zayn Musa would step on the ball, even stand on it. But as Ouaddou was saying, too often, a lot of the dribbling that was done, your teenage ladders, we loved them because they were very skillful. But a lot of times they went forward. I'm reminded of, what's his name? The late Skarangobeze, who would do that kind of showboating, but then go back. I remember Sean Bartlett, very frustrated because he said, I'm running into space expecting a pass. No, Skara turns around and goes back and the crowd goes wild. Now, our producer Mduduzi Sbego is a huge Orlando Pirates fan. He watched the match last night and he agrees with Coach Ouaddou that the showboating or the passes that were done last night were not productive. Nothing wrong with using your skills in South African football. That's what we are gifted with. But let it benefit the team. When you are 2-0 down, or 2-0 up, we've always said that 2-0 is a very precarious score in football. It's not the kind of score where you can jump up and down and say the match has been sealed. But Mdu, you watched last night. We spoke during the match, actually texting. What is happening? One of the things I know, we'll touch on it later, was that kid. I've seen there's just a lot of 50-50. Some people love it, some don't. But before we go there, this is the main talking point. Do you agree with Coach Ouaddou that what Pirates were doing is for the circus, it's not for the football pitch?
But Jakes, first off, I'm also all for entertainment and showboating. You mentioned we grew up watching the likes of your Skarangobese. I remember that old Kaizer Chiefs team, your Tabumoki, Botsikitsiki. They knew how to entertain the crowd. But also, you look at how Tsikitsiki used to do it. He knew when to do it. Yeah. And how to do it. What Orlando Pirates players did yesterday is they started being too casual and they were doing it in their own half. Yeah. There was a point where at the danger zone, Sipumbule turned with the ball, played a few skills, and then he tried to pass the ball across. When he passes it across, it goes past his goalkeeper to the defender. So now he's playing it across in his own box. Yeah, anything could have happened at that time. If Magesi had a good striker, someone who's alert, they could have easily taken the ball and scored. They then go on to play these passes. They lose the ball, they commit a foul, and they know that they struggle with defending set pieces. Then Magesi comes back into the game. Magesi needed an extra 5 minutes. They could have easily equalized if Orlando Pirates had carried on playing like that. I agree with him, especially because what you want to do is remind Magesi who you are as Orlando Pirates, that what happened last season was a mistake. Yeah. You can't come from the second division and come all the way to the top flight football and then beat a team of our caliber just like that. So it was really concerning because now that game also, they could have used the remaining minutes to prepare for the game against Mamelodi Sundowns to say, okay, let's go, more counter-attack, take more shots at goal and let's see what we can do. Because they created a lot of chances last night, Orlando Pirates, but failed to convert. So once they were 2-0 up, for me, I think they could have rectified those mistakes and tried to go for more and more goals so they can instill the goal-scoring mentality in themselves. Then you entertain the crowd. But always expect things like that when you have someone like Tito on the pitch for a very long time. Yeah,
look, it was a surprise that he finished the match actually, but he did. But what does then Ouaddou say? He's voiced it. He'll probably talk to the players as well about it. What do you do? Sometimes I think he doesn't have a lot of time because they're playing a big match against Sundowns. Because my thinking is, you look at those ones who showboated, who wasted the ball, you say, as he calls it, the suckers. There's the suckers, go up into the stands. Let's play these ones. But can he do that? Can he afford to do that? Yes, they are through to the next round, and it's a semi-final. It looks like, Stellies are playing tonight against Marumo Gallants. If Stellies win, opportunity of yet another Pirates Stellies match, but Pirates are the big ones left. Sundowns are out, Chiefs are out. Now you have Magazi, the defending champions, out. We are going to have a new champion. Does Ouaddou, how does he instill in these players exactly that? Because like we say, it's a South African thing. Our players have grown up knowing that we are 2-0 up, we are 3-0 up, we entertain the crowd. But as they say, is the entertainment worthy when you are not going forward? Because it's nice to see a guy dribbling going into the opposition half. Maybe he gets stopped, he doesn't score. But to just see them doing it in their own half, what's the purpose?
I think what he needs to do now, Rajex, is he needs to sit the players down, of course, in practice and tell them. And he needs to, maybe he has a soft hand. So maybe sometimes when he has to reprimand the players don't even think, coach, you serious, because maybe he says it in a certain manner. But he just needs to express himself and tell them that this is what I mean when I say don't do this. And also, the solution for that is that when the team starts winning by a big margin, immediately substitute those guys and then give other players a chance. Give other players a chance. Maybe if he had taken off Tito and they had taken off most of the players because now we're 2-0 up, take out most of those players and then put in fresh players who have never played, players who want to score, players who need more off the ball, And I also don't like this thing of Coach Ouaddou experimenting in crucial games. Like every game, Pirates has a different lineup. Yeah. Every game. He doesn't have a solid team. So now Tito knows that he's guaranteed lineup. He knows no matter what happens, no matter how many times the coach changes the squad, he knows that he's going to start. So how do you discipline someone like that? Because he knows that he's always going to start. He knows he's a favorite, right? Yeah. So I think the only way to discipline these guys, number one, is in practice. Maybe give them more fitness. Yeah. Maybe give them more runs, give them more push-ups. But honestly, I think even now he spoke in the post-match interviews, I think the players heard that and they know now that, okay, this coach does mean business. I mean, his job is on the line. He's just been knocked out of the CAF, and to be honest, him being knocked out of a CAF, he's already failed Orlando Pirates this season. So the only way for him to redeem himself is to win every game that he plays moving forward,
and win it convincingly. You are right. Yes,
Pratex, win it convincingly. Like winning Katuni against Magesi FC doesn't make sense. Whereas Mamelodi Sundowns would have dominated them and gave them a big hiding. Yeah. Maybe even a 5-0. It's always worrying concerning how a Chiefs and Pirates are celebrating a 3-0 victory. Whereas to Mamelodi Sundowns, sometimes that's not enough. Yeah. They want to go for more and more and more goals. When the coaches make substitutions, they put on players who know how to score goals. Exactly. So it's more goals after goals after goals after goals. Then next thing, the players are not called up to Bafana Bafana. Then as fans, we take to social media and start complaining that, why aren't you calling up these players? But clearly these players don't have the winning mentality. They just play to entertain the fans.
Yeah, and that's the challenge now. The football has changed. Hey, it's all about it's always been about the goals, but when we grew up in the 80s watching football, the entertainment was much more important because not really a lot was at stake now. But as you say, there's the Nations Cup coming up. There's the World Cup coming up. As a player, what do you want to do? You want a coach, Hugo Bruce, to see you and start thinking about you. But as you say, if you are going to just dilly-dally, dither with the ball like they did, and the man's job is on the line. I liked the attitude that he didn't spare them. He said it in the press conference, but I'm sure he went into the dressing room, as they say, the hair dryer treatment that Sir Alex Ferguson used to give at Manchester United. I hope he's done that, because then Pirates will know. You've got a big match coming up now. You're playing Mamelodi Sundowns at the weekend. Had you smashed Magesi, Sundowns then start thinking, this is going to be a toughie. But your bad Sundowns are like, okay, we saw them. They just couldn't beat Magazi. We know where the weaknesses are. These ones are going to want to try and play with the ball. And that's that. You must be happy, though. Moremi scoring after getting that red card at the weekend redeemed himself somewhat. And as I said, a stunning goal.
Projects, you mentioned something quite important. Orlando Pirates now play Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns is watching the game. They're thinking to themselves, okay, here's another easy win for us against Orlando Pirates. All we need to do is commit a few fouls, and then we need to force them to commit a few fouls because they're not good at defending set pieces. And then you talk about Tshepang Moremi. What a player! I think he's having the time of his life at Orlando Pirates, and he's scoring all the important goals for Orlando Pirates. You put him on as a sub, he comes in and scores. He starts the game, he scores. It was so unfortunate what happened to him on Saturday, even though he should have gotten a yellow card. But he comes back and he redeems himself, and he proves to us, the fans, and to the coach why he should always start. And I think what he's doing right now, he's slowly but surely starting to own that number 11 position at Orlando Pirates. And I feel bad for Relebohile Mofokeng, who is out on injury, when he has to come back, because then he has to compete for the lineup. Because Tshepang Moremi, if he scores against Mamelodi Sundowns this weekend, Mofokeng is definitely in trouble. And if Ozone Apollos then scores also against Mamelodi Sundowns, because he almost scored yesterday, we saw he hit the crossbar, and he had a very beautiful game. I like how he takes on players. I just like how he plays with so much confidence. I think if Tshepang Moremi and Ozone Apollos both score this weekend, it's going to be tough for Mofokeng to come back. Like I really don't understand how he's going to come back for that, and he's definitely Projects going to have to raise his hand and compete. So I like the competition at Orlando Pirates right now. It's healthy competition, but unfortunately it's us fans who make it a negative competition, because now when we compare the players, some fans become emotional. When you start saying that Ozone Apollos plays better than so and so, then some fans are like, no, you can't compare them, but they're playing the same position. And it's a fact. Relebohile Mofokeng and Ozone Apollos play the same position, but Ozone Apollos plays it better.
And Ozone, you speak about confidence, but there's also a hunger. You see somebody who is there to make a name for himself, somebody who wants to prove himself. Here's a kid who played for Polokwane City, a small club, but he made it to the national team, and now a big club signs him up. Too often we've seen them coming and struggling because the pressure at Orlando Pirates is just huge. But Ozone has taken to Pirates like a duck to water, and he's just shining. I mean, last night he made things up. What I like about him is exactly that, a never give up attitude. He goes, hell for leather. He attacks. He plays with his all, and that's all we want. And that's why he's always, we speak of the Nations Cup that's coming up. Coach Hugo Bruce has announced his preliminary squad, and there's quite a few Pirates players, rightly so, because they've impressed. Moremi is also the squad is going to be trimmed, and once that happens, you start thinking, am I going to go to the Nations Cup? And it's this kind of matches then where players have to perform. When you look at that squad, I've checked it out. I don't see any glaring omissions. There's quite a lot of players. Nemta Jela getting a look in, that's good for him, and it shows because Pirates have been playing well. He's been used and he's done some good things there. Do you think he's the type who will make it to the final selection?
Projects, he has a lot of competition there. He has a lot of competition. I'm shocked Libone CM is not in this preliminary squad, to be honest with you. Like sometimes I wonder how Hugo Bruce.
Listen, it's coaches. Remember, guys, and that's the thing. As fans, we look at football in a particular way. There's players we look at and we say, oh, but this one must make it. But remember, a coach has the structure. He has the system that he plays. People will say philosophy. A player might do well, but might not necessarily be somebody that the coach looks at and says, this guy will fit into my pattern, into the way I play things. So that's that. But they aren't, like I say, Mapangule is there. I don't know if he'll finally make it. He likes him. He's been calling him a lot of times. Pepele, after that injury, he came back. We saw him. He's also part of that. But we are going to play against a Zambia team that's, there and thereabouts. It's a preliminary match. It's not a Nations Cup, but this is an opportunity for players to raise their hands and say, Coach, take me with to Morocco.
Projects, I think for me personally, the opportunity for the players to raise their hands is when they're playing the league and when they're playing the culling knockouts and all of that. We had a good conversation about what Orlando Pirates players did last night. And then when they don't make it to the final squad, we start complaining. Ozuna Police is raising his hand to say that I deserve to go to AFCON and I deserve to go to the World Cup. He's playing like a player that should compete and play at that level. Utalent Mbatha, although he's not getting enough game time, he's also proven that he wants to be at that level. Look at what Evidence Mahupa is doing. He came on as a sub last night, read the game better than Kulumani Ndamani, scored the important goal, made the better runs, and even how his technique last night, he was just, I've never seen him play like that. I've never seen Evidence Mahupa play like that, but he's also raising his hand to say that I want to go to the World Cup. I should be at the AFCON as well. So, and then once the player's not in the squad, we start complaining to say, wara, 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 wara. You know, I'm just disappointed by Lebone Siema not being in the squad. But you look at the squad, it's a fairly decent squad. And when Hugo Broos trims it down, he's called a lot of good important players. And then our concern obviously is always in the strikers. Do we have strikers that know how to score goals? Because we're playing against the Zambian team Sharp. They might not be as strong as us now, but this is a team that's always given us a headache. This is a team that's won the AFCON. This is a team that knows how to play at that level, projects. When they come here, they don't have a lot to lose, but they have much to gain where the FIFA rankings are concerned. So they might even just focus on, let's go play against one of the strongest teams in the African continent right now. We win against them. It's a good name for us.
I'm looking at this. I'm not seeing Rele here, or am I misreading?
I think he's still injured, projects.
Yeah, gee, okay. So, but that's a challenge, hey? Because there's just no time for him to come back and then make it into the squad. Would it be a disappointment for a player that just last year was the most exciting player in the country to not make it to the Nations Cup?
It would really be a disappointment for him to not make it to the World Cup, especially for him personally. Not really for us fans, because you know us fans, we get over it. You know, the Bafana Bafana wins, we forget that you're not even there. We'll only remember that you're not there should they not play well. But for him as a player, it does become a bit challenging for him, because remember, he lost his fellow Cocomelon in Mohankota, who's gone overseas. And he was hoping he'd also go overseas at the start of the season, because he was so exciting to watch last season. Had a bit of dip in form. In the first few games of the season, hasn't scored a goal. Now he's injured, and then the Nations Cup comes, and Ozuna Police playing the way that he's playing might also be a challenge for him. Tsabang Moremi playing the way that he's playing could be a challenge for him. Then now comes the Nation Cup, and he's not there. It's gonna affect his confidence. It could kill his form for a very long time. Yeah, he could come in and score important goals, but we're not gonna get them Fukeng that we know. Should he not make it to the AFCON? And I wish him a speedy recovery, because he is a very exciting player, has a lot to offer nationally and domestically, but all he needs to do when he comes back, he needs to pull up his socks and he needs to remind us why he is the president of the
2000. Yeah, look, I mean, I just want us to go a little bit back to that whole issue of showboating. At the weekend, Kaizer Chiefs beat what was that, AS Simba 3-1. They were winning that match easily first half, made it a no contest. And then they they missed chances. But they too did some, people will call it showboating. I saw even Klompo Kekana explaining and feeling that Chiefs should not have done that. They're winning 3-0. I mean, should they not have?
Projects, I think at that point the fans just wanted to be entertained. And to be quite honest with you, we haven't seen Kaizer Chiefs play like that in a very long time. So the players were happy. It was just a thing of saying, I'd like to believe it was just the players saying to the fans, thank you for the continued support. Coming out in numbers. We're leading by 3-0. Let us give you a little bit entertainment, something more than just the goals. And it was nice to see Mlungu cross doing all of that.
That was like the most beautiful moment. I was there, and it's like, it was the moment of the match, because the crowd just went, oh. I mean, I was sitting next to the fellow journalist, Nick Gleason, and he looks at me and says, oh yeah, you see, we white people also have some skills. so it was, you are right, it's those little moments sometimes lift the game up. But Klompo was saying, I mean, what I don't know if I agree with it. I actually don't agree with it. That whole, he says, I mean, it makes sense, but look, that's football. He says, if you do that and a team is losing, often we get angry as the opposition, and a player might kick you, you might get injured, which is true. Yeah. But come on, that's part of football. We are going to do that. We are winning. I don't know.
Yeah, and he further went on to say that you can't do that in CAF, you do this at the Fiddies game, but unfortunately most of these players that Kaizer Chiefs are signing come from the Fiddies game.
That's exactly.
So, I mean, that's what you get. You
Yeah.
get what you pay for.
I think so. I think we the coaches, yes, have the right to show the players, do it. Don't do it. But there's times when it's 3-0, you are winning, you're definitely going to win this. A little bit of entertainment doesn't harm. If you do what Pirates did, then yes, it's 2-0, you are at risk. Come on, let's, it's what it is. But listen, as they say, football is a game of opinions and everybody will look at it from their point of view, and that's what it is. But I love it sometimes when players entertain, when they do all those skills things. Now, talking of entertaining, Banyana Banyana are going back to the AFCON. Last night, they beat the DRC 1-0 after a 1-1 draw away. They played at Dobsonville Stadium. And Thembi Kgatlana, out of the squad for a long time, comes back, proves just how great she is for the national team. She scores the winning goal late in the match. And now we are through to the Nations Cup. That's a beautiful thing. And Coach Tina Songe-Mbuli, very excited. This is what she had to say about their win.
I think we can't compare. We can't fight with them with their physicality because they are taller than us, they are stronger than us. Just that our players are strong. They might look at Tunox and you think that Tunox is short, but when it comes to 50-50, she doesn't hold back. But our strength is combination play, and at times we look good where we're on the ball, playing in half spaces. The minute we were playing, at times it worked, playing behind so that the team can run. But most of the time we were playing that long ball, they were winning all those balls because of their physicality and they are strong aerially. So yes, we want to play on feet. We encourage players to dribble, especially our wingers. If it's 1v1, it's allowed. They're allowed to take players on. And the second question, I said to you yesterday, we have to win. We have to win. And yes, we were frustrated towards the end of the game. Because it was 0-0 and they were really coming at us. And one mistake we conceded and then we were out. That's why I'm giving credit to the defenders for absorbing the pressure. And then one chance, I think Thembi, I don't know, goalkeeper was Amasevanga Thembi. Maybe that's why we kept her in the game, because we knew that if she gets one more chance, she'll score. So a win today was important. Not we were not comfortable with that, what they need to score, especially after they made those subs.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it would have been a disaster had we not qualified for the AFCON. This is Banyana Banyana, previous winners last year, lost out early on in the semis, but we are a giant in continental football when it comes to women's soccer, and it's very good. Congratulations. Now, the South African Football Association, you have to do your job. We hear the coach, Desiree Ellis, does not have a contract. The girls need to get proper preparations if we are going to reclaim the title of African champions, and that's what it has to. This association, Sasol, are back with you. They've signed. The contract is there. Sit down with your sponsors. Let's make sure that the team gets preparation that's good enough to make sure that we will be competitive at the Africa Cup of Nations. Speaking of competitive, Stellenbosch FC are away to Marumo Gallants tonight, trying to get into the semi-final yet again of the Carling knockout. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, that's the show for this morning. Showboating. Is it a good thing or is it not? Or is it really showboating? For me, our players have got dribbling skills. Let's use them to good effect to help us score more goals. Not, what Pirates did, because then you end up conceding a goal and you leave Coach Ouaddou seething as he was. Thank you for joining us on Inside SA Soccer with Brad Jakes and Mdu Sibeko, our producer.